Are we in a new Cold War with China?
At the time that we opened to China, Russia was the principal enemy. But our relations with China were about as bad as they could be, because we had fought the Korean War against them. Our view in opening to China was that it was unwise when you have two enemies that you treat them exactly alike, and that you should at least provide an opportunity for whatever differences might appear between them, or for whatever the international situation might produce of different attitudes, to provide a possibility for that. And so this is why, in a tortuous way, we approached China. What produced the opening was the tension that had developed autonomously between Russia and China. We were so convinced that the Chinese were the more ideologically committed that we at first thought the incidents had been started by the Chinese, but that was not true, that the Russians wanted to teach China a lesson. But Russia could not, Brezhnev could not conceive that China and the United States could get together. And Mao, despite all his ideological hostility to us, Mao was ready to begin conversations. It's not in principle, it is an alliance which is against Western interests as now established. But it does not look to me as if this is an intrinsically permanent relationship. It is geographically, demographically, 80% of the Russian population lives in the European part. Much of the Asian part of Russia, most of Siberia was acquired recently, as history is measured, in the second half of the 19th century. The geopolitical situation globally will undergo significant changes after the Ukraine war is over. And it is not natural for China and Russia to have identical interests on all foreseeable problems. I don't think we can generate possible disagreements, but I think circumstances, after the Ukraine war, Russia will have to reassess its relationship to Europe at a minimum, and its general attitude towards NATO, and so will America, and especially Europe, have to do when the lessons of this period sink in. And so I think it is unwise to take an adversarial position to two adversaries in a way that drives them together. And once we take aboard this principle in our relationships with Europe and in our internal discussions, I think history will provide opportunities in which we can apply the differential approach. That doesn't mean that either of them will become intimate friends of the West. It only means that on specific issues, as they arise, we leave open the option that a different approach, we are prepared to explore differences in approach in terms of our own relationship without discussing in the abstract what their relationship with each other would be, because that will be determined by their own interests and by their own domestic situation. But in view of general strategy in the period ahead of us, we should not lump Russia and China together as an integral element